There have been countless examples of incredible rivalries throughout the history of Formula 1, but few are as legendary as the fierce rivalry between Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. These two Formula 1 legends dominated the sport in their prime and had some of the most intense battles on track. Michael Schumacher was known for his aggressive driving style and ruthless competitiveness. On the other hand, Fernando Alonso was known for his precision and consistency. Together they created some of the most memorable moments in F1 history. It's definitely worth taking a look back at their rivalry, so for this video, let's do exactly that. So before we dive into their rivalry in detail, let's give a bit of background on who each of these drivers are. On one hand, we've got Michael Schumacher, who many believe is the greatest Formula 1 driver of all time. He began his F1 career in 1991 and went on to win his first two championships with Benetton in 1994 and 1995 before making the bold move to Ferrari. During his time at the Scuderia, he rewrote the record books of Formula 1, winning 5 consecutive world championships from 2000 to 2004. He was best known for his fierce competitiveness, his ability to perform under pressure, and his technical knowledge. Now, he retired from the sport initially in 2006, but made a comeback with Mercedes in 2010, before finally calling it a day in 2012. Schumacher finished his career with 91 wins, 68 pole positions, and 7 world championships. On the other hand, we have Fernando Alonso, who began his Formula 1 career in 2001 with the Minardi F1 team. He quickly moved to Renault in 2003, where he developed into one of the sport's top drivers. In 2005, he won his first world championship and followed it up with another in 2006. Then he took the bold move to McLaren for one season, but was unable to win a championship with them, before returning to Renault for 2 more seasons. But the team was not as competitive as during his earlier tenure. Because of this, in 2010 he joined Ferrari, where he consistently finished on the podium and was a regular contender for the title, but was unable to win any more championships. In 2014 he then continued the habit of returning to old teams by rejoining McLaren, but the team struggled to be competitive during his time there, and so in 2018 he took a 2-year break from Formula 1. However, as we know, he then returned with Alpine in 2021, and come 2023 at the age of 41, he is still driving in Formula 1, but this time for Aston Martin. Throughout his career, Alonso has been known for his consistency, his ability to extract the most from his car, and his fierce competitiveness. He has 32 Grand Prix wins, 98 podiums, and 2 world championships to his name. So Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso first met on a Formula 1 circuit in 2001, and at the time Schumacher was already a household name, having won 3 world titles and pushing for a 4th. Alonso, on the other hand, was a young up-and-comer enjoying his first season in Formula 1. However, Alonso took a sabbatical year out in 2002 to be the Renault reserve driver, but he found himself in the Renault seat on his return in the 2003 season. And well, this was where Alonso announced himself as a formidable competitor to the great Michael Schumacher. Over the 2003 season, he got 4 podiums and finished 6th in the championship, beating his teammate Jarno Trulli by 25 points. However, it was Alonso's first win at the Hungarian Grand Prix where he truly got on Schumacher's radar by lapping him. However, the rivalry between Schumacher and Alonso really reached its peak during the 2005 and 2006 seasons. Firstly, in 2005, Alonso stormed to the championship with a very competitive Renault, beating Schumacher, who found himself with a much worse Ferrari as he only managed to finish 3rd with less than half of Alonso's points. But this didn't mean there weren't any fierce battles between the two drivers. At the San Marino Grand Prix, the two engaged in a legendary battle, with Alonso managing to keep the German at bay to seal his 3rd straight win of the season. However, come 2006, Schumacher's Ferrari had improved, and they found themselves both fighting for the championship again. The two drivers engaged in a number of on-track battles at the Bahrain, Turkish, French and Chinese Grand Prix. Both drivers won 7 races each throughout the season. However, Alonso managed to seal the title, winning by 13 points. Understandably, this led to some fiery exchanges, with Schumacher often accusing Alonso of being overly aggressive. And so, off the track, the rivalry between Schumacher and Alonso was also very intense. The two drivers were known for their outspoken personalities and were not afraid to speak their minds. Schumacher was often critical of Alonso, accusing him of being arrogant and disrespectful. Alonso in turn accused Schumacher of being a poor sportsman and of using underhanded tactics to win races. However, while both came to blows considerably over this time, both Schumacher and Alonso have said they have a great deal of respect for each other. Schumacher has said Alonso was one of the toughest competitors he ever faced, while Alonso has said that Schumacher was a true legend of the sport. So following the 2006 season, Schumacher announced he was retiring from the sport, signalling an end to their incredible rivalry. But that was until 2010, where Schumacher made a return with the new Mercedes team, while Alonso was now driving for Ferrari. However, the Mercedes simply wasn't competitive enough to really challenge Alonso, and so they never really came to blows again. Then in 2012, Schumacher finally retired from the sport for good. The rivalry between Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso was truly one for the ages. It marked the end of Schumacher's 5-year dominance with Ferrari and announced Fernando Alonso as a true great of Formula 1. When fans think about the 2000s in Formula 1, they instantly think Schumacher versus Alonso because of their on-track battles where neither driver would give an inch, but also their fierce war of words away from the track. And when looking back at the greatest rivalries in Formula 1 history, it's hard to disagree that this one is certainly a contender.